As Hooks would say, happy pregame, fellas, or whatever he says. How's it going, everybody? How is it going? We got the pregame going on. Hello, Theo. There he is. Filling in today, Bill Hooks is gone. He's gone today. But Theo is back.
So I dropped the ball on the pregame.
Why?
Well, I forgot that you guys fired that up 5 minutes early, and our lovely esteemed morning show host from next door at KFRX, Jen, we were having a good conversation, and then someone made the mistake and said that there was lemon cake out there.
Was I right?
Is
it lemon?
I don't know. I haven't tried it. It's yellow. It is lemon.
It is. I was right.
Very good. So I don't know who brought it in. One of the Eagle guys walked by and said, Happy May Day. So maybe he brought it in.
Oh, it is May Day.
Yeah, and I forgot to give everyone May Day baskets.
I did that one time. It was pretty funny. There's a YouTube video on up there back when I was an intern.
In the college, there was a few guys at a landscaping job that I had that gave me the nickname May Day.
May Day.
From Mayday Malone. I think it's from a movie or something like that.
Do you remember as kids doing May Day baskets?
Yes. And you have to remember, I have to remember a lot longer back than you do. So sometimes that's not fair.
Well, and the rules kind of changed, right? I mean, wasn't there a rule to where if you got caught, you had to kiss
or something like
that?
You had
to kiss him, yeah.
Like, okay, catch me.
That's why I'm not running. I want you to catch me. Yeah.
I mean, all the rules have changed. I mean, even Valentine's Day, because I remember we'd go home and I'd spend the whole night before Valentine's Day writing out Valentine's and putting candy and stuff in. And, nowadays it's got to be like pencils, or you can't bring food to school. Someone might be allergic to avocados and we can't have it anywhere near the school premises.
Right.
What a different world.
Yeah, well, it's all for the best.
I just slap somebody with my Trapper Keeper and we'll move on.
Trapper Keeper.
Trapper Keeper. Yeah, I just made that reference.
Yeah, very nice.
You like
Trapper Keeper.
I might have to save that then.
The lemon cake. I'm not a big fan of lemon cake. I like white cake, and that's it. White cake is the best.
Strawberry cake was pretty good. My wife made one of those.
Why do you have to ruin it with strawberry? It's like, why you got to put strawberry in milk? Strawberry milk it's just an abomination. Anyways.
What about chocolate milk?
Not a fan.
That's weird. That's probably the strangest thing I'll hear all day.
Let's start the show.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up.
What's up? Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome into the Morning Hookup. Yeah, that's right. It's the first of the month. Happy May. Happy May Day. Welcome into the show. Bill Hooks is gone today. He has got some stuff to do, so we have Theo Malone in with us. Good morning, Theo.
This is weird.
Why is it weird?
I normally only work Tuesdays. Normally Bill takes Tuesdays off.
That's right. He's taking like 3 Tuesdays
off.
This
is a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Like I'm gonna get to talk to Henry T today.
Yes, we will
this
have
be crazy.
Henry T. Buchanan on the show. That's coming up in about 20 minutes. We always talk to him on Wednesdays. Good dude. Solid dude, man. He loves coming on our show, and we will have him on until he does not want to do it anymore. So we will have Henry T. on coming up in about 20 minutes.
I'm going to talk to him about that, too.
Yeah,
not about him not being on the show, but just a big thank you. I mean, that guy's a staple for this program.
He's great. So that's coming up. Happy Wednesday again, first of the month. Happy May Day. Get the May Day baskets ready.
Well, how was your evening last night?
Last night, my evening was, I got eliminated pretty quickly in the singles dart tournament.
Okay.
Mind you, I got eliminated by somebody who, I don't think is better than me. She was just playing very well. She pulled off a big upset Monday night. So she was coming into this one hot. Now, I did kind of have a little problem with it, Theo.
Okay. Did she talk smack to you?
No, very nice. Very nice person. The only problem I have against it is I wasn't supposed to play her. She's not in the league. Her boyfriend is in the league, but he couldn't make it, so she's technically subbing for him.
Is that allowed?
I guess it's allowed, but like I
Couldn't you get like that Ted Lasso or whatever that show was on to come sub?
Ted Lasso.
Is that what the show was called? Or help me out. Yeah.
Ted Lasso. Yeah, the soccer show.
Yeah. Did you ever see him shoot darts?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't
Yeah.
you bring him in as a sub then?
Yeah. Well,
See,
he's left-handed.
there's nothing wrong with that kid.
He forgot he was left-handed.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm not too mad about it. And then it was kind of weird by the end of the night. I was there watching the championship, and it was between Hoos and Brady, two fantastic dart players, two guys that are playing some of the best darts I've ever seen, Theo, and they're going up against each other, and I'm making side bets, because that's what I do. I had a few drinks and I was making side bets.
You just see you with a cigarette in your mouth, 2 wads of cash in each hand.
Well, so Brady's playing really good, but I had a lot of people offering me bets where they wanted to take Justin. And I'm like, I'll take Brady, and so I won. Brady ended up winning the whole damn thing. I won like $40 off dudes, and let's say Justin wasn't very happy with me.
Sure,
he kind of attacked me, so I kind of felt bad a little bit. But what else am I going to do? I made some money, so that was a good dart night. What about you? What'd you do last night?
Well, speaking of elimination, it was the reserves city tournament for baseball teams here in town.
Okay.
And Xavier's Northwest Falcons got the 3 seed, beat Lincoln High, the 6 seed, the first game. And so we got to stick around for another game.
Cool.
Lincoln Southwest. Pretty good baseball program there at Lincoln Southwest.
You got to get things going.
Yeah. Ends up going extra innings. And so they have this tiebreaker rule where if they've been doing it in like old people softball for a while, so you probably know it, but they're implementing it. Runners made the last out of the last inning starts at second. You start with 1 out. And I think they walk the next guy. So it's first and second. Mm-hmm. And they hit a base hit. Mind you, we're up 1. We'd got our run in the top half of the extra inning. Hit a base hit to left where Xavier's at. Try scoring the guy from second, right?
Xavier
hoses this kid at the plate.
And that's your son.
Yeah,
for everyone
just
listening.
hose him at the plate. So there's out number 2. The runners did advance second and third. The final out, even just as great of a play. Second baseman smothers a ball. We end up beating Southwest. So now we get to go play Lincoln East tonight.
Oh.
Who is the cat's meow, not only for the city, but for the entire state for baseball. It's going to be a tough go, but at least they get to play for the championship tonight out at Den Hartog.
Hey, man, that's really cool. The Falcons, they've only been together for a few years, so that's really cool.
This is year 2 of the baseball program.
They're having success early, man. That's a lot of fun.
Coach Faulkner's got it going.
Well, good luck to your boy and the Falcons, and I got to say good luck to my alma mater, Lincoln East. So
yeah,
it should be a good game, man.
Should be.
That's exciting. Well, there's a lot to get to. NBA last night, man. Let's start with your Sixers.
You want to?
Your 76ers were so close.
They were dead in the water.
Oh, they were, but that shot at the end of regulation was crazy.
Well, which one?
Well, the one to tie it.
Yeah. And the one before it with the 3-point or the 4-point play. And if you miss it, we're talking about Maxey. Sixers down 6 with like a half a minute to go, but it's eerily a reminder of it went the other way earlier in the week. Remember, the Sixers were up 5 with 30 seconds to go, lost it. And, you would think with 2 guys like Maxey and Embiid on that team, both who have only become like the 3rd or 4th duo to score 45 or more in a postseason series, it's just not enough. I'm glad they won it. It's going to be a tough go. Embiid's not as healthy as he normally is. But Maxey, they're down 6. Maxey hits his 3-pointers, fouled, cuts it to 2. They get the foul on the other end. The Knicks only make 1 free throw, so Sixers need a 3 to tie it. Maxey buries another. They end up winning it in overtime. Knicks still lead that series 3-2.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Theo, I don't see the Sixers winning this next game.
Probably not. Even though I think it does go back to Philadelphia for it. We've had in those, and I think you're right. Back in the day, Do you remember in a 7-game series, the home team advantage would get the first 2, then it would go to the other team's place for 3 games, and then 6 and 7 would go back. So that's where you got your 4 games.
Well, they do that for baseball. I think that's how baseball does it.
I think a lot of places haven't they. I think all correct me if I'm wrong. The common format now is 2, 2, and then 1, 1, 1.
Yeah, I think baseball does that still. I could be wrong,
Okay.
but I kind of like that better. But yeah, so your Sixers moving on in overtime.
Yep.
Cavaliers get a 1-point win over the Magic. That's very slowly becoming a pretty good series. If Magic can get a win after that, it'd be tied at 3.
But let's be honest, both of those teams don't stand a chance against the Celtics.
No.
For the next round.
They don't.
Now, Celtics season did get a little bit interesting. If big guy, how long is he going to be out? Is he going to be hurt?
Yeah, well, they said he's going to be missing some decent time. And I don't know if they could win without Porzingis.
Right.
And I don't even know if they're going to get him back in time for that if they make it to the finals.
You just like saying Porzingis.
He's a good player. And I'll tell you what, the biggest surprise last night was the Bucks. They're short. They didn't have Giannis. They didn't have Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
It was a home game. So, but they end up winning pretty well over the Pacers, 115-92. That is definitely a game that they needed.
And you know why?
Well, it sounds like they're coming back.
Middleton.
That
guy is
he's really good.
He doesn't. I mean, I know he does get some accolades, but he still is so underappreciated. I think in the league, by the common fan, stuff like that. He showed up with the 2 main stars gone. He showed up.
It's a big game because now I think I heard that Damian Lillard and Giannis are going to be back for this next game.
If healthy, they can make some noise, especially if the Celtics are reeling. But I think it's a little bit more interesting in the Western Conference. You've got some series that are over. Your T-Wolves obviously took care of business. Got to be happy about that.
Booyah.
Maybe get some rest so they can go face the defending NBA champions. And what's going to be just a great series, I think.
I've been talking with so many people, a lot of Nuggets fans. I'm telling you, this may be the best series we've seen in a while. It is going to be must-see basketball. I think it's going to go 7, and I think anybody can take this series.
Right.
It's going to be really fun.
And I mean, we can have fun and play a little bit ahead too. Whoever wins that series is probably going to have to play another 7-game series against Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
they're playing
those 3 teams, along with the Celtics. Those are your 4 best teams in the NBA right now.
Who do you like tonight? Heat go back on the road to Boston. Boston's favored by 14.5. You think they close that one out tonight? I think they do.
I think they do, but I don't think they cover that.
Okay. And then Mavs Clippers in LA. Dallas is favored in that game. 3.5 points. Series tied 2-2. I'll take Clippers at home tonight.
That's weird that Dallas is favored on the road. Is there
weird,
some injuries or something that
there must be? I know Kawhi was dealing with some things.
Right.
But
I know why. Because it's James Harden in the playoffs.
Oh, yikes.
Ouch.
What's that? What did he do to you, man?
He did well, just 1 year, the Sixers, but look at him in the playoffs every year. Guy go win himself a scoring title or whatnot and just trip on his beard in the playoffs.
Well, there's the NBA talk, man. Last night also Husker baseball just cannot get it done in midweek games, and they get swept by Creighton on the season. Just a gross thing to have to say, but they lose to Creighton last night at home.
And it was in the manner of which it happened. Just quick synopsis on that first inning. We had a drop fly ball.
Yeah, that
I think eventually led to like 5 unearned runs, and that was the difference in the game. You lost 9-5.
Yep.
A lot of people are starting to push the panic mode.
Well,
I am not.
I think that's okay. Look at 2 years in a row, you're failing to be successful midweek. 2 years in a row.
Okay.
This year might even be worse. I mean, let's be honest.
All right. Let's look at some of those midweek opponents then, if you want to.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Kansas Jayhawks.
Yep.
They're still a Big 12 school. It's a decent baseball conference. Kansas is still right there on the cusp of making most of your 64-team projections. In fact, I think they're still, the last one in?
Is that true?
Yes. Creighton speaks for itself. They're going to be playing in the tournament. I think it hurts more because when we say the word Creighton, or as Bill refers to that other team, that
Well,
makes
Ryan
it
840
hurts worse.
Ryan 840 just said stop with the C word.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes it more painful, obviously.
Okay, so Kansas, Creighton.
But Will, out of you know, I don't need it. It's baseball.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that because we don't care this baseball, but people know any team can beat any team more likely in baseball than in your basketball or your football. So being favored in baseball doesn't mean anything. You know, teams go on streaks. It is a little alarming with the midweek thing, but I mean, we've scheduled some great teams. We're taking care of business on the weekends, still poised to be, on the Big Ten tournament. And I think I was talking with Schmitty before the show started, still projected as a 2 seed in Stillwater. Now, I know that that's disappointing because 3 weeks ago we were sitting in here talking about how great Haymarket Park's going to look when we host. Yeah, maybe got a little bit ahead of ourselves.
Damn right we
But
did.
Will Bolt has this going in the right direction. You're going to go through stretches. He's gone about it the right way. You know, the team that he brought in with these junior college recruits, along with his high school class recruitings, yeah, you're gonna stumble. It happens in baseball.
I know it does. I know, but
It's not like Will Bolt is doing this perennially. You know, he took over the program. They're making some steps. You know, in the grand illusions of this being back to 99 or 2005 and make that 50-mile drive up there to Omaha. I get it. There's not anybody in this building more that wants to make that drive up there than me. But the fact that remains that we play baseball in the Big Ten Conference, and you have to know what your limitations are as far as trying to get certain kids to come to the Big Ten, where you can't play year round, to have to compete to recruit those same kids against maybe a Wichita State, which is just down the road, or an Oklahoma State just down the road. You have to go out recruit Iowa and stuff. And those kids that are here that are really good, I've seen a lot of kids from Lincoln go down to those schools or decide to go pro and stuff like that. And then when you do get here, I'm not trying to bag on our fellow conference mates, but you're playing other Big Ten schools. Is that going to make you better than if you were to play against Tennessee or Arizona State?
No.
It is what it is. And we're heading in the right direction. I just don't want to see us get. Have we not learned from football and these other things? Well, that guy's lost 3 games in a row. I've had it with him. If Trev was here, he would have canned him a long time ago. Folks, my goodness.
I think it's just
not I'm just in general. I mean, you see that.
I think it's just frustrating because, like you said, we were having really good things said about us. You're in projections to host and all that.
Right.
And then it seems like once that happened, you were ranked, right? You got nationally ranked. And it seems like once all that happened, something changed and it started falling off.
That can happen too with the tournament watch for March Madness with the basketball team.
Yeah.
And maybe those projections don't do us any good. Maybe that leads us to, we're salivating right now like Pavlov's dog.
I think you're
here
right.
Just at the beginning of April about the College World Series. It's just 2.5 months away. But you know what? They got a bunch of readers to click on that and like it. They're coming up with these projections rather than us just let us play the season out and see what happens.
But you have to admit, though, dropping these midweek games, it's making it harder to just be an at-large bid to the tournament. You got to. It's making you have to win the Big Ten. That's becoming way more important now that we cannot finish these midweek games when you're losing these games.
Sure.
You're losing quality RPI wins here.
Yeah.
So
but even playing those games though too still helps your RPI.
True.
Now it'd be better, yes, if you want them.
It'd be a lot better.
But just the scheduling, and maybe that does come out and help us in the end, just because of the schedule that we put together. I mean, look how the season started, going down there and playing Texas Tech and Oklahoma, teams like that.
Well, today they do have another chance. K-State 6:05 at Haymarket Park. It's way back Wednesday. Way back Wednesday. I think they're giving away a bobblehead, maybe. Maybe that was over the weekend. I don't know. No, but so then this weekend they go on the road to Minnesota, going to Minneapolis. So let's hope they can pick it up, man. A big sweep this weekend would be huge. And how about get a midweek game for once tonight? Let's see it happen, man. Let's take a break, come back. We'll get Henry T. Buchanan on the stream. We'll see his pretty face, talk to him about some of the recent transfers. We just got a big guy. Nebraska got a big guy.
Got a biggin.
It's about time, Theo.
I like it.
We'll talk about the 7-footer we just got to Lincoln after the break.
More next on the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
There he is.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, T.
What's up, Matt?
Hey, T, what's going on?
Not much, man. So just sitting here and pretty excited about our acquisition.
Yeah, 7-1.
Absolutely. And,
I'm
and 255 pounder, so he's not, he's not a paperweight.
No, it's not like Brian Conklin.
No, I played with somebody smaller than him, skinnier than him, a 7-footer, Kelly Lively.
Yeah, Kelly was he was King's backup then that
Yes,
year for the 90-91 team, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He took a lot of elbows from some of my teammates. He used to take a beating in practice. We played physical back then.
How's the weather down there, man?
Oh my goodness, man! It's hard to explain. It's so beautiful out right now.
It's Arizona, Will. It's not Nebraska. It's nice.
Man, I'm glad y'all speaking of. I'm glad y'all survived the tornadoes. My goodness. I'll even hit in city.
Yeah, gee, I'll send you a video.
Yeah, city limits. Well, you weren't one of those people out there.
No, but I had the tornado hit one of one of our trains head on, and the coworkers got a video of that.
No
from
way.
The cab of the tornado hitting the train head on. It's I'll send it to
I
you.
didn't see that. Wow.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
But I just saw a lot of videos on social media, and I'm like, why are these people outside? We were always taught to find shelter, be in the basement. I didn't have no interest in seeing a tornado.
See, Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt did that to everybody.
Yeah.
Now everybody wants to go chase them.
Which was a pretty darn good movie.
They're coming out with a second one.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was like a preview when Xavier and I went to the theater to watch something.
Yeah, I saw that. Look, I'll be watching it. I mean, it was a great movie, to be honest. I did learn a lot, but I just thought it was, well. It was a little much, man, when you saw the cow spinning.
Same cow. Other cow. Nope, same cow. And it is. You spend 2 hours of this movie, and this tornado just simply chases these people nonstop. It's almost like it was like Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger. I mean, why does this tornado keep chasing these people? It's not dissipating.
That's called Twister.
Yeah. Came out in the 90s.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I have seen the scene with the cow, though.
Same cow.
Oh, yeah, same cow.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I seen a movie on a tornado when I was a kid was Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, and that gave me nightmares too.
Yeah.
That was the scariest part. I wasn't scared about with the witch. It was a tornado at the beginning of that movie that freaked me out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was scared of the Munchkins. They scared me.
Yeah.
No.
The lollipop ones?
Yeah. Apparently they were all alcoholics.
See, I would think that I would have been afraid of the flying monkeys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, you think about a set of wings on those monkeys, that would terrify most kids.
They looked fun though.
But by the time you got to that point in the movie, you'd already seen enough strange stuff that I think you were already numb to it.
Speaking of monkeys, how about the new Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, that looks like a good movie too.
Yeah,
saw that trailer.
I remember watching the first one back with Charleston Heston. A buddy of mine, a good friend of mine, Kyle Collins, is in town. And
hey, T, hold that thought, man. Hold that thought for me, okay? Welcome back into the Morning Hookup. Happy Wednesday. Happy first of the month. Happy May Day. Second segment of the day. Every Wednesday we bring on Henry T. Buchanan, former Husker. And we got him on the stream right now. T, what's up?
What's up, fellas? What's up? Matt, hey, where's Bill at? But I love having you, Matt. But they normally give me a heads up when Bill's not going to make it.
Bill is
I'm surprised.
Yeah, Bill, he's got some stuff. Apparently some big wig Slim Chickens guys are in town. So he's
okay.
talking with them and doing some business, I guess. So
I tell you what, T, we'll try and make this work.
It always works.
It's funny. I was thinking about this on the way in today, that I thought back to about, was it 2 or 3 years ago, that I think Bill was going to be gone, and Will was just starting to become a producer, still new. I'd done way less shows, obviously, and I'm like, well, what are we going to do to fill? We got to do something on the show, and I'm like, let me make a call. I'm like, hey, T, you might come out talking some basketball, and you've been here ever since. Yeah. And it's so great that this has become just a staple of the show. And I am biased. This is my favorite segment of the week. And I am happy that I get to work a Wednesday. I'm sorry Bill's not here, but anytime I get to be on a Wednesday, if my guy T is here, it makes my week.
Oh, I'm glad you're here too, Matt. And you did bring me to this segment. And heck, when I was in Lincoln, I got a chance to see your beautiful daughter, Mallory.
Yep.
I always make a stop in there to pick up a couple of things before I leave. And I looked over and I said, Mallory, she just looked over. She recognized me immediately, of course. And of course, I said, make sure you tell your dad I said hi. And,
she did.
Yeah. So it was awesome, man. It's, but that's what Lincoln is all about. It's a big family.
That's right, T. We appreciate you joining us again, man. Well, there's many ways we could start. Let's start with the big news we got yesterday, man. We say every year, I feel like every offseason, we always say we need to get a big guy in here. And, man, we finally got one. We got the Washington transfer, Braxton Weah. Is it Weah?
Or is it
Weah? Weah?
Is it Meh?
Meha. I mean, I saw it spelled on the
Meah.
Mia. Let's go with Mia.
Yeah, it's either that or when people are like, meh.
I'll just watch. I'll wait on Kit to welcome me.
I hope it's not. Yeah, meh. If you were to type that out, it's hey, do you want to go eat here for dinner? Yeah, I think that's how it'd be spelled. So hopefully it's me.
Let's
Mia.
go with that. T,
Okay.
what do you think of this signing, man? What a big commitment.
I thought it was huge, and that was the big guy I was telling you guys about last week when I was in town. When I was talking to Coach Hoiberg, I went up and had a chance to talk to Coach Ziegler and Coach Howard, and they were happened to be watching the video highlights of this young man, and my first comment to those two guys, like, who in the world is that? Because he was pretty much dunking everything. I mean, he's a monster under the basket, and I said, man, I would love to have this guy here, have a guy like this in the in the program. 7'1", athletic, and a rim protector. And but I did talk to Coach Hoiberg, and Coach Hoiberg was high on him as well. And it was funny. This is the guy, Coach Hoiberg said, well, we got to make sure he takes care of the ball. So I think he had a few turnovers, last year and a few assists. But I'm not worried about that as much as the rim protector, rebounding and protecting that paint. And I'm pretty excited about this guy, and just watching him in that tape. And you better get out of his way because he's brave. He's going to take you and the ball into the rim. So Husker fans should be pretty excited about this.
And T, if you kind of look at his skill set, a lot of coaches have been envious about, Fred's 5-out offense. Even your bigs last year, obviously Rink showed the ability to shoot the three. Juwan did. And even Josiah Alec had several threes. This guy has never made a career three. Kind of struggles at the free throw line as well. Got a little bit better last year. As sometimes you see big men, dude. This guy is a pure post player, which we really haven't seen under the valuable minutes under the Fred Hoiberg era. Is this something that they can incorporate even with that current system, and how's that going to look?
Oh, absolutely. Coach Hoiberg is a basketball genius. Trust me. And he'll be able to implement this big guy, especially into the offense. And the defense speaks for itself. It's going to allow Mass and the new recruit from North Dakota State that normally is that, kind of the undersized big man, especially in the Big Ten, to kind of roam the perimeter. Mass is a three-point shooter. You mentioned Gary shooting it. Bryce is shooting it. and so, especially the kid coming from Rutgers, being able to shoot it. And then from my understanding, I mentioned last week that one of my good friends, Lee, mentioned that he watched Wisconsin's high school state champions tournament finals, not finals, but I'm not sure if it was the finals, where that kid from Wisconsin dropped a 40 piece, we have some shooters. So we're not looking for a big to come in and score for us. We're looking for a big to rebound and protect the rim, block shots and change shots and create havoc on the defensive end. And we definitely have enough offense to go around. And I think he'll be a perfect pawn or chess piece, or however you want to say it, that's going to fit into the offense and especially the defense. So like I said, it's going to give the fans something to be really happy about, and he'll be fun to watch. And he plays with a lot of energy. I wish y'all could see this highlight tape. I'm telling you, as soon as I walked in, I kind of looked over, and the guy was an animal. I mean, he's dunking it hard, and we'll be excited, and it'll be something to cheer about, and this just what the doctor ordered, and all that Coach Hoiberg is doing and the coaching staff is reloading.
So let's assume Rink Mass doesn't come back. Let's say he doesn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
You got Andrew Morgan. Then you got, of course, Mia or Ma, who we just got in the transfer. Okay, and then let's not forget, you're bringing in Braden Frager, a freshman in Southwest. Are you happy with that? With the big guys we got on the roster, if Rink doesn't come back?
Well, it'd be nice to have Rink come back, and I think he will, hopefully. I don't know where he's at unless someone's heard something that I haven't heard, but I know.
T, let me ask you, I'm sorry to interrupt. The longer that plays out, is he more likely to come back, kind of like what Casey did, to not kind of keep Fred on the hook?
Well, to be honest, I think he's trying to determine, and I get it. Last thing you want is your body to be cut on. And if there's some way that you can do a really, really good rehab and some personal training and thing to get that knee right without the surgery, and I think that's kind of where he's going. I know he's looking for some second opinions or what have you, so he doesn't have to have that done. And that decision is going to have to be made, like you all said, it's going to have to be made really quick. But I don't think it's like an ACL tear where you're going to be out for a year, nothing like that. And I'm not saying it's something minor as well. And actually, to be honest, I don't know exactly what it is. But I just know that he was trying to determine if he really wants that procedure to be done, or something that he can work his way back to, if not 100%, very close to 100%. But I think if he's going to be ready to play, he'll be ready to play. And we'll need him, because we definitely going to need that leadership, the passing ability for a big man, and also taking the big man out to the perimeter, shooting that three. So, and I know the kid from North Dakota State is a similar player. And I haven't seen this guy play, but just what I've been hearing, that he's similar to Mass, but I just don't think he's a better passer or anything like that. But obviously he can shoot from the perimeter, and so I think we'll be okay. Especially with Gary and Bryce being there, and the shooter coming in from Rutgers, and then like you said, we got the Southwest kid, we got the big point guard coming from Utah State. You have Ulis that's still waiting in the wings. That's going to surprise people with this athletic ability and speed and ability to run the offense and play defense as well.
All right, I'll kind of piggyback on Will's question then. Let's assume Mass does come back. I mean, if he doesn't, maybe we'll go try and recruit with someone with a similar skill set. Let's say he does come back, and that puts us at 11 out of 13. I don't know if you sit on a scholarship, because you don't want to just take someone late just to fill a scholarship. I think we kind of did that last year. You don't want to use it just to use it. But what in your mind would we do to go fill out those last two scholarship spots? I said go get another shooting forward, kind of in the form of Bryce, and another shooting guard. What would you do with those last 2 scholarships?
Oh, I like what you just said. I'm a shooter myself. So, and the college game is around 3-point shooting. And if you watch the tournament, it's all about either you're getting to the basket, dunking, or you're shooting threes. But if you don't have the ability to shoot the ball, then that's going to be your Achilles heel all year. And across the country, ask Kentucky. When you have a kid that hit 10 3-pointers against you to put you out in the first round of the tournament, and Calipari's now at Arkansas. If you don't have the shooters, consistent shooters, it's going to be hard to compete on the collegiate level. So with that being said, as long as we can find more shooters, the better. And I like your analogy. If we can get a big two guard who can still shoot it, if we can get a small forward, even a big forward that can shoot it, let's do it. More the merrier. Because with that in mind, when you go to the bench, when you get down to your rotation, which normally around the conference plays go down to about 7 or 8 players, you go at least hopefully 6 to 7 of those players are going to be perimeter oriented shooters, and it's going to fit into Coach Hoiberg's offense, and I think we'd be okay. But it's going to be some shooters out there that's putting their name in the hat here. I know I've been watching the transfer portal, and kids are still being signed that were starters at other schools. They just deciding at the last minute, but the money's involved when it comes to that. So hopefully, I don't know how much we have, and I know Coach Hoiberg mentioned that we have a little bit more, but it's going to be tough to compete with the Creightons of the world and a lot of these schools that's able to give these players $750,000 or more, $1 million a year just to come to the school. And but that's where we're at now. So hey, if any boosters are listening, hey, please donate to the NIL pot and let's get some of these big time players.
Right. You almost wonder how long it is before we have that salary cap in college. But T, I can remember, back in the day when you were playing it, that you could, especially me, I was such a roster junkie as a kid, and I would look at with you and Derek on there, and then I would start looking to see who was coming back, who would we have next year, and that's all out the window. Not only basketball, but any sport, and football as well. Every season is its own entity now. It doesn't matter if the kid's a freshman or a senior, because you never know if
we lost him. Give me 1 sec.
Oh, that's right.
We lost him for a sec. Now he's back.
Okay.
Do you hear me? No, I wanted to talk about just how it doesn't matter what class they are, because you have to treat it like they may or may not be here next year. And it just, to me, it is so different, because of this transfer portal in that NIL. And maybe you guys have touched on before, but the biggest thing for me is 2 years ago, we did have some attrition, and we had a 500 season. We got hot late, but then I go and we look, and we get to the tournament this year, and then there were some real surprises to me jumping in the portal, and we had more attrition this year after a better season. So talk me and some of these other listeners off the ledge. Is this just how it's going to be from here on out?
Oh, this is exactly where we're at. And I mentioned this last week and talking to coaches across the country, and speaking of like one of the assistant coaches that's part of the family back in the home, Bonzi Wells, and he's at Georgia Tech, and just picking his brain, and he said, T, we're in the world now that these kids are coming to the program and coming to the coaching staff with not only themselves, they come in with AAU coaches, handlers, agents, and not only you have to come up with some money for them, you got to come up money for the coach, you got to come up money if they have an agent, and it's about the bag, and if we're not willing to free up money, for these players, that's going to make immediate impact on your program, then we're just going to depend on loyalty, and loyalty seems like it's out the window then when it comes to basketball now, or even football. And every year we're going to have a different team, from a basketball perspective, and we just have to get used to it. Is it going to be tough watching Eli Rice come in here next year from Penn State? That's going to be a tough, because I thought this guy was going to be the future. In my mind, I just thought he was that good. And had a lot of potential there, and to see him leave and that was tough. And then I just immediately just said, hey, that's the world we're living in now. And every year, we're not going to be able to follow guys in a program through their senior year. That's just not going to happen anymore. Now we just got to find a way to compete financially with these big time programs who's already dishing out the money. I saw UConn picked up that guard out of St. Mary's that I've been following out here on the West Coast, and who can flat out play. And I remember him in his interview that the boosters is giving them everything they want, and which means that's where the money's going. But we got football here, and 2 years ago our football budget was about $30 million, and that was 2 years ago, and our basketball budget was like $600,000. It's more now. I don't know where we're at in both programs, but that's kind of where we're at. And Creighton at the time was $250,000 per starter. Their starters doubled our whole budget back then, and that's what Coach Hoiberg has to compete against 2 years ago. So, and I'm sure it's better now. We have the facilities. It used to be the facilities and things of that sort that would attract a player. And it would still attract me. Money, of course, money is going to be the root of all decisions. But, man, if you got a facility and the fan support that Nebraska brings to the table, that's the addition that you're going to have. If all is equal, we're going to beat out a lot of programs, but we're going to have to ante up. And that's not only men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball, all the sports. In our sports, in every sport, we're competing. And we're competing without the budget that other universities have. And I'm just, I'm pleading with the boosters, man, who wants to see Nebraska win in all sports. If we're not giving up the cash, man, we're not going to compete 2 or 3 years down the road. But I like what I saw with Rayola in the red-white game, not changing the subject. And
No,
maybe that money was well spent. And
maybe it was.
And I saw the Ryan, who was the singer that put him up on stage in Omaha. Was that in Omaha? Just recently, I just saw it this morning anyway. So this guy, can flat out throw it inaccurate. So this might be worth every dime we give him.
T, I know as painful as that's going to be to see Eli in that Penn State uniform. Just remember that we got how Rutgers and Wisconsin are going to feel when we play there as well. So I do have a question because you talked a little bit about the budget and stuff like that I'm not 100% sure how this all works, but every Big Ten team gets X amount from like our contracts with the Big Ten network that goes to the athletic department or whatever and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe you can help me, or if if any of that can or does get used for NIL, because what I had always thought is NIL, like you had talked about, hey, boosters, we need your help. But in the past, we could go to booster A, B, and C and know that together we were going to get X amount every year from those families. And that always went to help out with like facilities to help upgrade Memorial Stadium or whatever we needed. But now if we're having to spend that booster money on NIL, is that now, do we have to go and try and ask them for even more, or do some of the facilities start to suffer, or can we upgrade the facilities with that Big Ten money? How does this pie get cut up then?
Well, that's a great question. And I tell you what, we're going to have to bring Sam Gifford in on that question, when it comes to NIL.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's bring Sam Gifford back because he's very, in tune, because he's a donor not only for football but basketball as well, and it goes through the NIL. So he's very familiar with how that works. And actually, we got the opportunity to have the NIL coordinator for the university spoke to us a couple of years ago, and that's how I came up with the numbers, the $30 million for football budget and $600,000 for men's basketball a couple of years ago. He was a gentleman that shared that with us, and the fact that the Creighton had $250,000 per starter, so 5 starters itself was making over 1.2 million versus our whole budget is $600,000. So let's work on getting those 2 guys in, and they'll be able to answer any questions we have. and I can't think of the gentleman's name, but I can get that as well. And I'll ask him to come on, but Sam will come on for sure, and he can give us a little bit more insight about that football program, because it sounds like Isaac is going to be the man on defense. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So let's get those guys on, Matthew, because I think I want to know a little bit more, because I'm just speaking on things that I've heard. But, with bringing Sam and maybe the NIL guy on just to kind of pick his brain and get some of the listeners to understand what it takes to get these kids and how the NIL works and how it's distributed amongst all the sports, because volleyball is in championships and winning championships. So where's their piece of the pie? I would like to know as well. So great question. I wish I had all the answers, but I don't. If I was a billionaire, I'd be donating.
Well, I thought you were. I've seen your house. Henry T has a pool.
And that's State Farm. State Farm, I've been there almost 36 years. They take care of me.
Hey, T, you see the hat, man. The T-Wolves move on. First time they've won an NBA series in 20 years.
But you know what? It's the Suns, man. We're all afraid. Well, I'm still Pacers, and God, we blew it yesterday. But I know the Suns is all worried now because Durant's not happy. Booker. They talking about Booker's always wanted to play in New York, and it just, Bradley Beal. I mean, he was great in Washington, but I just think with the injuries, he's just not the player he used to be. And then when you pay those three people that much money, it's who else you going to have to play and pay. Now, with that being said, Minnesota, the Timberwolves, that Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, oh my goodness. Yeah. Hey, that Denver series,
yeah,
I think it's going to be a toss-up.
I think so too. I think it's going to go 7. And T, I was thinking about this. I go, this could be the best series I've ever seen. Obviously there's been some great finals and all that, but in terms of early on, do you have any memories, like some big, good NBA series that you remember watching?
Oh man, I can tell you early on, before Michael Jordan wasn't winning. I can remember back in the Boston and the Bulls series. I remember when Dr. J was struggling to win his first championship and battling those days when he was battling Larry Bird. And I never forget when they picked up Andrew Toney, who's one of the most prolific scorers in that time. Boston ran and got Dennis Johnson to be his stopper. And finally, once they got Andrew Toney and Moses Malone.
Moses.
Yeah, Moses and all. Oh, that's right.
That's my uncle.
76er fan. But that's where I'm going back to, and just watching those series, and then that's how great Larry Bird was back then. How great this guy with McHale and Robert Parrish and Dennis Johnson and Danny Ainge and all those guys. And then here comes the Doc, man, with Andrew Toney, Maurice Peake. Yeah. And then they had who's the big defender?
Daryl Dawkins.
Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones.
And when that's back when Larry Bird, we get upset. Why you got a white guy guarding me? Because I'm gonna thrash you, pretty much. But Daryl Dawkins and actually one of our former Huskers' dads played on one of those. Clemens. Remember Shadrack? Is it Shadrack? Is it Clemens that played here? Shadrack? Golly. His dad was on those 76ers teams back then when they won.
Yeah.
And he played.
Brandon's dad?
What's that?
Is that Brandon Clemens' dad?
No, before him.
Okay.
Chad, what was it after him or with him? I'll think of it. I'll think of it for next week. But he was part of that team, and so when I think of tough series and somebody trying to get over the hump, of course, Bulls did it later with the Pistons. But golly, I think the Philadelphia series with Boston was something special. So back then, and I was still a Pacer fan, but how could you not love Dr. J back then?
Hey, what about those Pacers? I mean, I know they lost last night, but I tell you what, there's a good chance that we might be seeing them with the Knicks in the next round.
I hope so, because I don't know if Dame Dollar and Damian Lillard and Giannis, the Greek Freak, if they come back, we might be in trouble. But it'll be their first game back, so we still may be able to sneak one And this is going to be in Indiana, I do believe. I think we're playing in Indiana this next
I think you're going back, yeah.
But you won't have Rick Schmitz.
game. Hey, legendary. Rick Smith back in the day. And how about the Davis?
Yeah.
They weren't twins, but the Davis brothers.
The Davis brothers. Yeah, absolutely.
But I
Great
go
team.
back in the ABA days, though, fellas, when we won 5 ABA championships back when the Mel Daniels and Rick Mount and Roger Brown and Darnell Hillman days. Playing against Dan Hissler, Kentucky Colonel, Artis Gilmore, and all those guys. Yeah, I've been watching basketball since I can remember watching basketball.
Seems like it, man.
That's fine. My memories growing up were watching T. T, always a pleasure to just again glad to have you on every week. Absolute great staple of the show. Thank you for your time. Hope to get to see you up here again sometime soon, my friend.
Oh, speaking of, is everything settled for next in 2 weeks, right? For the match.
Is that going on in 2 weeks?
Yes, that would be the 17th.
All right. Well, I'll talk to Hook. See, I think we're gonna play at Wilderness again. So I'll
so okay, we're back at Wilderness. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll talk to him. We'll get it all set up, man. And I got to get out. The 2 weeks is gonna go quick, man. So
it is, and I'm starting to feel better. I've been off the medication for a couple of weeks. So I'm getting looser. So I might come in swinging and might do a couple of cartwheels.
Once a baller, always a baller.
That's right. Hey, T, we appreciate your time, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Hey, great seeing you, Matt. Y'all take care. Thanks for having me.
All right, see you, T. Good to talk to Henry T every single week. A lot of good thoughts from him.
I tell you what, Will, I can't emphasize. I know I've said it before, but I think I was 12, 14 or whatever I was. That's when you really, just from wearing a jersey, but you start paying attention to teams and you start going to Devaney and watching and just being there, as a teenager, watching T come in and play on those teams and bury threes. I mean, that was my favorite guy. And now I get to talk to him on the radio. It's awesome.
And again, you're the one who started this whole thing. So we appreciate that, man. Let's take a break. Come back. We'll wrap up the show after this.
You're listening to the Morning Hookup with Bill Hooks and Will Wilson. More coming up.
I feel bad. I don't think I'm as proactive of reading the comments as Bill is. There was one on there that obviously caught my eye early. Christian had let everyone know that he does have some eligibility left, and we could use one of the scholarships on him. Says he's not a great shooter, but he'd be a great locker room guy. I think good for morale.
Well, the problem is, in order for him to become a good shooter, I think it takes a few Vegas bombs, and I don't think that's allowed in college athletics. Oh, we got a call coming in.
It's got to be Ernesto Diaz.
It is Ernesto.
I told you it was.
It is Ernesto.
I don't think I'm not sure if he's allowed to call before 10:50 at home or something like that. I don't know if he's on restriction.
Christian said, if Casey can chain smoke cigs, I can have a few bomb skis. That's true. That was a rumor going around about Casey.
That he was a smoker?
Yeah, that he likes the cigarettes. Hey, no skin off my back.
Back in the day, it wasn't uncommon. I don't know how many Cubs fans we have out there, but you'd see the Cubs come off the field after playing defense. Mark Grace would go into the dugout and light up a heater.
No way.
Mark Grace would. Oh, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, man.
No, you're just like, what?
Sometimes you need a heater.
I mean, you always see the pictures of Babe Ruth, with the big stogie and whatnot, but staying in shape and off-season training really wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
You know, you could drink a keg of beer and smoke all that and then come out and play a doubleheader.
Well, look,
It was encouraged.
look, man, even though it was a movie, I don't think Bob Uecker's character in Major League was that far off from how he actually was
Right.
in this studio. You know what I mean?
The old Uke up there.
Yeah, he's still calling games. You know that, right?
Yeah,
He's still
at 90
calling games.
years old.
Man, what a legend.
I picked a heck of a week to quit drinking. Well, that was Airplane.
That's Airplane,
Right.
yeah. Picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
Methamphetamines. Well, what do you make of this? Well, I can make a hat, a brochet, a pterodactyl.
Rawr, rawr, rawr. Yeah, solid movie right
It
there,
is.
man.
I mean, you have to have that kind of humor, and not everyone's got it.
No,
I don't want to throw her under the bus, but she's probably not listening anyway. My wife does not have that sort of humor,
yep.
and she'll look at me and say, "You're not funny."
I've tried to get people to watch that movie, and they can't get through it. They think it's
Exactly.
so dumb. Anyways, all right, stay there.
What do they know?
Exactly. Welcome back into the Morning Hookup. Final segment of the day. Again, Bill Hook's gone today. He'll be back tomorrow. Shout out to Thew for coming in and hanging out with us. Let's go to Ernesto. Ernesto, what's up, man?
Not too much, guys. Man, Friday you said I was drinking, but it was actually the side effects of these 2 shots I take, one for bone health and one to keep my testosterone down. And it's like a rewind every time I get mad. I got mad yesterday at Chipotle, but that's another story. But,
Same.
you know, it had me thinking, you know, on my day off yesterday, you know, turd rat radio is horrible. And as my dad said, God rest his soul, you can shine a turd as much as you want, but it's still a turd.
At the end of the day, it is.
Oh, my God. I hate that word.
I take it Ernesto's not a big fan of the Creighton Network.
No, he's not. But can we just say these new phone systems sound great? Did you hear that call?
It was very crisp.
Yes. I am impressed.
It sounded like he was calling from next door and not from Florida.
Yeah. That was really good. Okay, we have some good stuff happening here.
Yeah, Greg chimed in that we need to have a different promo for when Bill can't come into work,
And
I
was
come
there.
in. We have a different set of intro songs.
Yeah.
Bill is more of your Bone Thugs and Harmony guy, whereas we like to play a lot of backdrops, so you'll hear it PBA, and obviously you're going to get some 80s music.
Yep. Yeah. You love your 80s.
And a lot of times, honestly, Bill doesn't know he's going to need the day off till like the night before.
I have we got to bring back the Thewisms next time you come in. We have a whole thing of Thewisms.
Oh, yeah, the get off my lawn.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, we appreciate you coming in, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You bet. I'm going to be out there cheering on the Falcons tonight.
Go Falcons.
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, everybody. Have a good Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have it's open
Dang.
show.
Is
Open show. Yep.
Dane coming in?
No, that's Friday.
What is today?
Today's Wednesday.
Oh,
so
it is.
We'll see you tomorrow on Thursday. Enjoy your Wednesday. See ya.